Hello, and welcome back to another nail video. You all have really been enjoying my last few videos where I have been giving you all tips or tricks for doing your acrylic nails or just for nail techs in general. So I decided to keep it going, and for today's video I'm going to be giving you all tips for doing your own acrylic nails on yourself. So I skipped the acrylic prep part in this video. I prepped these nails off camera and I also applied my nail tips, definitely making sure that the tips fit from sidewall to sidewall. But I do have a layer of peel off base coat on all of my nails because I am going to be changing my nails soon and I don't plan on keeping these on very long. But one tip that I have for doing acrylic nails on yourself is you really want to make sure that your liquid to powder ratio is down pat. You definitely want to make sure that you know how to control your acrylic and pick up the perfect bead, meaning your bead stays in place when you set it on the nail and it's not too runny. So another tip for when you're doing your acrylic nails on yourself, you definitely want to make sure that you are pointing your finger down and letting gravity do its thing, which is going to be to pull the product down towards the tip. So I would definitely suggest that you keep your finger pointed down. That way the product can make its way towards the tip of the nail. As you see here, I am patting the product in place. I want it to be as flat as possible against the nail bed. And then, like I mentioned before, I have a nice bead. It is not too runny and it's not too dry. Perfect for me to be able to maneuver and push this bead back towards the cuticle area and still get it as flat as possible on the nail bed. And another tip for doing acrylic nails on yourself or actually anyone in general for your clients, you definitely don't want to rush the process. You want to be patient because if you have a smooth acrylic application, that will save you so much time and energy towards the end of the process. So I'll definitely say try to be as patient as you can be when it comes to your application. Another tip that I've learned over the years when doing nails, if you find a product that you like, I highly suggest that you stick with it because once you learn how to control the product, your sets will come out so much smoother. Also, if you notice in this clip right here, I am using the belly of my brush to push that product down and get it as flat as possible. And then I'm just using the tip to kind of push down the top part of the acrylic. Then I pick up my cuticle bead and push it back as close as possible to the cuticle area before I feather that product down so that it blends in with the previous acrylic. Another tip for when you're doing acrylic nails on yourself, you definitely want to have a routine for yourself. I say this all the time and I'm going to continue to say this. If you have a routine for yourself and the process becomes repetitive, it's just so much easier to do because you don't have to think about what you're doing. You already know the steps. Once I'm done with my acrylic application, I begin filing and shaping these nails using my 80/80 grit nail file. And if you notice, I am lining my nail file up directly with my sidewall and keeping my file parallel to make sure that these nails are as straight as possible. And I don't leave too much of the filing portion in because if you know, I definitely don't like to file, but I think that it would be helpful for this part of the video. And once I'm done hand filing out of the nails, then I'm using my 5-in-1 nail drill bit to go around the cuticle area and seal the cuticles. I also use this to go across the top of the nail just to try to get the nail as flat as possible and to make sure that the product is nice and smooth. Now I do have my e-file set to about medium to high RPMs. And this is just the level that I am comfortable with, but you definitely want to put it on the level that you are most comfortable with. And remember, you don't want to apply any pressure to your e-file. And once I'm done sealing off all of my cuticles, of course, I am using my 80/80 grit sanding band. Oh, excuse me, this is a 180 grit sanding band. And I'm just going across the top of the nail once more, as well as in the cuticle area. And this is just going to make sure that the nail is nice and even and all of the product is nice and flush and give it that nice finished look. Next, I washed my hands and removed all of that dirt and debris. And now it's one of my favorite times. Time to do some nail art. But before I do any gel polish, I am applying a very thin layer of Madame Glam's base coat to each nail, and then I'm going to cure these nails for 60 seconds. And base coat is very important when you're doing any type of nail art or applying gel polish because it allows your polish to go onto the nail bed a lot smoother. So I highly suggest using base coat for each and every set. Next, I am using this beautiful pastel purple color by Madame Glam, and it's called Blissfully Yours. And I love this color. If you are new to my channel, purple is my absolute favorite color. And so this color is so pretty. One tip when you're doing gel polish, when you are applying gel polish, you always want to work in thin layers. Now, I know that this is a lighter sheer color, so I am going to take my time and actually do 3 layers of each, and I'm going to cure it in between for 60 seconds. And as you see, after 3 thin layers, it has a nice smooth coverage. Next, since I am going to be ombreing these nails, I'm just applying a thin layer of this darker color. It's a darker purple by the brand Fun. It's short for Love Your Fun. How cute. And this is the color LF304. And I'm just applying it to the very tip of the nail. And before I cure the nail, I'm using my ombre brush to kind of drag that gel polish up towards the cuticle area as much as possible. And then I'm going to flip my ombre brush around the horizontal way and kind of do small strokes back and forth just to blend that polish in. And I actually did 2 layers. One of the layers I did off camera. But one tip I have for when you're doing nail art, especially when you're doing ombre, particularly using gel polish, you kind of just have to trust the process and try to get it as best as possible, but continue to add layers if needed. And once I've cured my ombre nails, next I'm using that same darker purple color to create a French tip on my middle nail. And one tip that I've learned is I like to create an outline for myself first when doing French tips. I don't know, to me, it just makes the process so much easier. I am a visual learner, so the fact that I can see what I'm doing and see it all come together just helps me a little better. So I would highly suggest, if you are struggling with doing French tips, try to create an outline for yourself first before you completely polish the nail. That way you already know if it looks good or not. You're not like constantly having to use your cleanup brush. And once I've cured that, I went ahead and applied another thin layer of that color off camera. But next, I am moving on to my first finger, and I'm using one of my favorite gel liner brushes, the Beetles Black Gel Liner Brush. And I'm just creating some beautiful nail art on my nails today. One tip that I have when you're doing nail art on yourself, you just really want to take your time, and you also want to hold your nail up with your pinky finger. That way, whatever nail that you're doing can be a little sturdy and a little, it just makes it a little easier in my opinion. And once I've created a design that I like, I go ahead and cure this nail, but only for 30 seconds because I am going to be adding this beautiful silver chrome that you see here. And I'm just using a makeup brush to carefully apply the chrome only to the area with the black gel polish. And then I kind of repeat the same steps on my pinky finger, but this time with a different design, but very much similar. And this is how we're looking so far. So cute. And I've really been enjoying doing 3D nail art as of lately. So I decided to do some 3D nail art on this set. I actually saw a similar set on Pinterest. So I kind of decided to recreate it with my own little touch and, you know, using my own little colors. So that is what I am doing here. And these are how the nails turned out. I love them. They are so cute. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you learned some tips today for doing your own acrylic nails on yourself at home. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next nail video.